Hello, I'm Benson and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about a Peloton bike and why you should buy the Plus instead of buying the original or the old style. If you haven't already, check out my other video. We did have the old bike and the new bike side by side, and I'm sure there's tons of technical review video on the Bike Plus already. There's a lot of opinions on the internet about which one you should buy, especially with the waiting time now going to 3, 4, maybe even 5 months in terms of when can you get your hands on the bike. The chances of you buying a bike and delivered in Christmas is quite slim because there is a lot of people waiting for the Peloton bike. And this just to show that during lockdown, how valuable it is to have an indoor bike that you can still train when the weather is bad outside and you can't go outside and mix and mingle with other people. So I deal with a lot of technology stuff on my channel, and every couple of years there is a big jump and leap in terms of technology. So there's always new gear which is better than the old one. How much better? That is usually personal preference. You could update from a iPhone 11 to a 12. Personally, I wouldn't. But that doesn't mean that 12 enhancement is not important. So let me just go through a few things first. So first of all, Peloton, if you are watching, please, can we have a version of your shoe which doesn't have this ratchet system? I understand why some shoes have this, skating boots and stuff like that, but this is just a hassle to put it on and off, especially when you make the Bike Plus so easy to just jump on and start. This is just a minor thing for me. I mean, if I am going to buy a pair of cycling shoes with a clip, I would try to find one which doesn't have this system. There are some which is like a cable that you twist. I'm quite interested in that one. But if you just come up with one with just a Velcro strip, that will be fantastic. So one of the main reasons why we need a heart rate monitor is it can measure your heart rate, and it links into the computer on the Peloton bike. So we started with a chest mount. So this is Wahoo. I think a lot of people use this and got good results. This one obviously have to go underneath your clothing against your chest, and it's such a hassle. Every time you use it, you have to put it on, and it soaks up all the sweat as well. So I personally hate this. And then you have something like Spoo. I'll put the link in the description. This one is for me. So my wife bought that one first. We never share it because it's always soaking wet. And then I decided to try something like a monitor which goes on your forearm. So this one, you basically put it on here instead of around your chest. You click a button here, it starts, and then it links in with your bike. Now this one I love because you do sweat and it does get soaked, but look, it's only a small strap, it's on your forearm. But if you have a Bike Plus, there's an even easier method now. So your Apple Watch is already a heart rate monitor. All you need to do is bring it close to the Peloton logo. There is no fluffing about. My watch is always on my hand anyway, and I'm always charging overnight, so it's just ready to go. So this is one feature that we use every single ride on the Bike Plus between me and my wife. We both have Apple Watch. I'm an Android user. Now because of the Peloton, I actually got a iPhone because the iPhone Health app is just so much better. The Bike Plus costs like £500 more in UK, I think, and a lot of people will say, why bothered? Long waiting time and it's more expensive, just buy the cheaper bike. That £500 you can spend elsewhere, which is better money spent. You don't need the enhanced feature. Some people might have very strap-on cash, I understand, and you buy the best gear that you have the money for. If you can't afford the Bike Plus, that's fine for me. I mean, Peloton is for everyone, not just for the rich and famous. But how much are you going to spend on your gear in terms of what you wear? I mean, I'm quite conscious in terms of how I spend my money. I love Peloton gear, and sometimes you got the codes to have save £100, but you easily spend a couple of £100 on Peloton gear just for the logo on the clothing. I wear things from Decathlon in the UK or sometimes Amazon, whatever is on offer. So, minimum spent on, clothing, but I'd rather spend more money on the bike because the bike is the one that you're going to keep for the years to come. Spend I don't know, £100 on the set of Peloton gear, and then you put in the wash, and then after a year or two, you have to throw them away because of wear and tear. But the bike is the one that you keep you going for years and years to come. So that £500 spread over the lifetime of the bike, and you use it every single time. You might wear your Peloton clothing to go out shopping and show off your logo. I'd rather just spend less money on clothing and spend more money on the bike. But that's just me. So again, no offense to people who like, you know, Peloton gear top to bottom. I would love to have that as well, but at the moment, this is good enough for me. Tower, very important, because you do need to dry yourself from all the sweat and tears that you might have during training. Some of them have a loop on the corner here, and then you can loop it on the handlebar so it doesn't drop. But if it does drop on the floor, I can pick it up. No problem. But a lot of people have to get off the bike and pick it up, so having a loop is quite a good idea. Just loop it on the handlebar. If you let it go, just change it up and wash your face with. So that is one very good idea to have on the towers. And this one from Decathlon, again, I think I spent about like £3 or £4 on this. This I think is a large or medium size, I can't remember. But any cloth will do, even if you have a dishcloth if you need to. The mat, we go for the Peloton mat, and it is important for whatever bike that you use, unless you want a soaking wet carpet. And trust me, if you think that you're going to exercise gently on a Peloton bike, think again. You're buying into the lifestyle, and we joined a field challenge, and even the FTP test to test your own body function. You are going to sweat, and this is going to get soaked. This is going to get soaked, and having the mat just make it much easier to clean. If you have hardwood flooring, it's alright, just mop it up. But if you have carpet, then yeah, definitely have some matting on top. Auto resistant, again, very, very important for me personally. I like things consistent, and I like measuring, and I like numbers. Now with the auto resistant, I set it to the middle of the class, and I will not touch the knob again for the whole entire class. The instructor will change the resistance on guidance, and the bike will change it for me. Now there's a couple of things for that. It's not because I'm lazy, but it is consistent. So if I do the ride again next time, and based on the ride before, or based on how I feel that day, if I want more out of the ride, all I need to do is at the beginning, I set the auto range not in the middle, but a bit higher than middle. And every time the resistance change, it will remember where I was. And the next change, when you change down, it will be on the upper level of the lower resistance. This is fantastic. One of the really first questions that I asked the Peloton shop when we went to see the bike, the old bike, was, does it change resistance for you? The answer was no, and I was quite disappointed. I said, why? This is 2020. Shouldn't there be some kind of automatic resistance change, so that you don't have to take your eyes off the bike and just focus on the exercise? The fact that having auto resistance, don't think that you're not going to use it, or just being lazy. It is very good for progress, especially for people who are weak-minded like me. You might like, oh, you know what? Cycling. You know what? I'm going to give it up a little bit. You touch the knob, and every time you touch the knob, you're changing your resistance, and then that's it. The consistency is gone. That ride no longer the same as the next time you do it. It's not wrong. A lot of people don't need it, but what I'm saying is a very, very good feature to have, without having to do any porting over or linking to a kind of a third app. Basically, it's built in. Go near it. You see the Infinity logo. Now it's connect. Press OK, and then as soon as you start the ride,
What's up, Peloton? It's
you start to measure, and your heart rate will come up on the screen.
We're gonna get started in just a second.
So there's no fuffling about. Enhancement, now the speaker is actually on the screen right here facing you. So
cool down. Today output is our guide for intensity and power zone, ranges from 1 to 7.
And when you switch on the music, it's so good. You can feel the vibration through the handlebar. That's how much bass it has now. And because the speaker is in the front, the music is so much clearer. There's no more fiddling about, casting it to my hi-fi anymore. All I need to do is just turn it up, and that's it. Yeah, so 30 minutes is gone. I'm sweating. I burned about 400 calories. And it was fun. Before you know it, your instructor keep you motivated, the music was good, and yeah, you just shut yourself off from your normal daily activities. If you're lucky like us to have a space, you can decorate the space. It does make a difference. This is not just for show, and it's very important to have your own space that you can actually focus and do better than the last ride every time. Consistent, persistent, good diet, then you get your results. Working out with your friends, do reach out on Facebook, do reach out on the Peloton forum. I joined Power Zone Pack for challenges, really helps, especially when I do long shift like 11 hours. After 11 hours, your energy goes down. Not necessarily you're tired, muscle or anything like that, but you're drained. But just think about, once you join a challenge, you don't want to let your team down and have fun, then 11 hours of work, you actually look forward to a ride when you come home with your friends. And that is what sets the Peloton different from normal spin bike. Spending $2,000 and having it in your garage will not make you any healthier, any fitter. You do have to put some work into it. Whew. Now another feature on the Bike Plus is the screen that can tilt. So I just finished my ride and I want to do a stretch. So all you need to do is turn the screen over like this, and then you can do exercise, stretch exercise off the bike. So now I no longer need to cast it to my telly. I do have a telly here that we can cast to. I do have like a makeshift, like a walking machine or running treadmill that we can do Peloton off the screen. You can do it by a wire or by casting. You can do the same for stretches, but we use these every day. All you need to do is just tilt the screen straight, and then you can have it wherever you want to face. Honestly, after a ride, after 11-hour shift, then you have no time to fluff about getting off the bike, cast it to your telly, turn on the telly. I don't have that strength. I just want to do my stretch, and I just want to finish my ride and for the day.
A little bit taller, a little prouder. Acknowledge the hard work that you've done for you today. The more you bend, the deeper that stretch. Try to keep that foot nice and flat on the ground.
That's all I got time for you today. I'm sure there's loads more tricks and tips that you can learn from the community. Don't forget to join our Facebook group and reach out to your friends who have Peloton. There's no question too silly. But if I can help you, put it down in the comment section below what your question is. I don't want to hate from any previous bike owners or the old design. To be honest with you, both bike is good, but Peloton, the previous version, is 2014. This is not a comparison between like technology, like an iPhone. It's not like you're moving from iPhone 11 and next year the 12 will come up. The Bike Plus is going to be here for a long period of time if it is anything like the previous bike. If it takes the Peloton, from 2014 to 2020 to bring out a Plus version, the next version is not going to come out anytime soon. So if you jump the guns and get the bike because you don't want to wait a couple of months, you might not get the next generation. There's no second chance. This is a big investment. So unless you're absolutely sure you don't want the enhancement like I show you in the video, that's perfectly fine. The bike is perfectly fine for the last, 7 years. But if you have a chance, for example, if I'm a first-time buyer for a Peloton, I will actually, wait for the Bike Plus. There's loads of trick and tips as well to how to get your bike quicker. And join the Facebook forum. I think there are some just keep calling or just keep getting the next available slot. You can get the bike a bit quicker, but you do have to put in the effort at this point in time. If weight loss is your goal to get the Peloton bike, then wait a few months. Get the exercise mat, cast the program to the telly and do floor exercise. Peloton don't not only do bike, they do treadmill as well. No, we got like a cheap walking pad there so that we can actually walk or run according to the Peloton app. So if the weather is absolutely pouring outside and we don't want to go for a walk, there's no excuse. You can walk on that. There are expensive one, there's cheap one. So this is the cheapest one I find on Amazon, and it kind of work okay for walking. Running, I'm quite agile, so the small landing area, I'm happy with that. I can actually do jogging on it, but my wife will refuse to do that because it's just accident waiting to happen. You can do floor exercise, you can do jumping jack, you can do cardio, you can do weight. I mean, we didn't buy Peloton weights, we just use like cheap Argos or Amazon weights. Anything you can do to improve your health, do it. Use those few months of waiting for the bike to get ready for the bike. Don't make a rash decision based on what other people tell you. Watch more videos like these, find out more about the Bike Plus before you hit that buy button on the old design. That's what I'm going to say. My channel, I never tell you what to do. You watch it, you know what is good and what is bad, and you make that right decision. And like I say, I don't want a war between old bike and new bike. So help each other, answer each other questions, and stay safe. And I can't wait to see you with more gadget review next time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.